So I was going to make this video anyway, but then NorCal Cycling came out with a pre-cooked video on the 3 best strength training exercises. So we're going to go through them one by one. So the first one they recommended was the squat. Now the squat is probably one of the best ones you can do. It's pretty easy to do and it works. So this study here was actually pretty wild. All they did was 13 women. Okay, yeah, obviously it's a terrible number of people, but that's just standard sports science study. They did half squats, 4 sets of 4, 3 times per week, and that was it. Obviously, you could say the other people didn't do more training, but it's actually not that much, the squats. And yes, then basically they said it did good stuff. Cycling economy up 5%, work efficiency up 5%, and their MAP, which is like the last minute of their ramp test, 17.2% as well. So basically it really worked. So that was good. We'll get into the weeds of the strength, because he was saying some cook stuff about, it's good to squat because you can just do it at home. It's like, well, yeah, but you actually need to do max efforts, because otherwise you just won't get better. And that all the studies are done on like super low repetition. Anyway, we're going to go on to the next one, because they said they said deadlift, and that was absolutely bananas. Number 1, high chance of injury. Number 2, like literally no one does it. So this study here is probably one of the best studies done on strength training and cycling. So they did a simulated road race and a 5-minute max test. And basically what they found out was that the 5-minute all-out TT, they went up a lot, like 30 watts. So actually it was good, and they didn't have any cooked subjects either. They were actually all good. So you might go, okay, well, what did the people actually do in the gym? Because that is one of the biggest things. And the question is, here we go. So one more. They did a half squat, which is standard. That's no worries. Then they did a leg press with 1 foot at a time. Incredibly important. They did 1-legged hip flexion. I'll add on the screen now, but that is like the opposite of a pedal stroke, and often the opposite, obviously, is like an eccentric movement is going to be really good to increase the cycling. And then the toe raise, the calf raises, those are very important. So why they didn't pick any of these, I literally have no idea. Okay, I agree the leg press is tough with 1 foot at a time, but even like calf raises, I would probably pick above like the deadlift necessarily, or single leg squat. We'll get onto why single leg is so good in a minute, because that's actually something also super important. The thing is, all these studies are kind of done by Ronstadt and his mates. So this is like obviously done by Ronstadt again. So he's done exactly the same thing. This study's pretty good as well. It's not as conclusive, I would say. There are some things where like, yeah, they got better at, but they didn't get better in a 40-minute all-out TT. They did get better at like the mean power during a 30-second Wingate sprint. So that is good. But yeah, again, what do they do? Literally the same one. This study here, again, strength training versus core exercise for the optimization of road cycling. Sitco just did the same stuff, and they again found increase in power across all durations when they were doing strength training. So yeah, I don't know why they chose the hamstring curl. Box jumps, I've already made a video on that. Don't know, it could be good, it could be bad. Watch the video, but I think as the top 3, I probably wouldn't do that. And the reason I think single leg, now this study, I did look at it, it's pretty cooked in some ways, but I think it does kind of show a point of actually the unilateral gym, so just only doing leg press, leg extension, and leg curl with 1 leg does get bigger gains. I really doubt they're this big. However, I think that's something really odd that they didn't do any unilateral stuff. They only did like the kind of standard heavy lifting. So yeah, I think it's pretty cooked. And like I said, there's a lot of mentioning about, you can do it at home. Unfortunately, with the gym, it's really difficult to do at home unless you have proper heavy weights, because as we saw in all these, you just have to go like super low rep range, very close to max. So again, 3 to 4 repetitions. So that's seriously low. It's going to be high strength if you're doing 3 times 4, almost flat out. So then you might go, okay, Charlie, well, what would you pick? Well, considering every study that everyone looks at does these specific exercises, I would do a half squat, Smith machine or not, I don't think it matters that much. Smith machine is just easier for people because there's less chance of it going wrong. I would, if you can go to the gym, which I think most people who do the gym, leg press, 100%, one of the best things you can do. There's no balance, you can just go flat out. And then my last one would be calf raises. Now, you might comment, it doesn't do much for hamstring and glute. I would agree, it's not great. If I had one more, I'd probably maybe get rid of calf raises and do split squats, because then if you get your legs quite far apart, you can target your glutes. So I U-bolted, half squat, leg press, and split squat. Bulgarian split squat's probably the best. Single leg as well. And if you have time, the toe raises are good and the hip flexion's also good. I think the deadlift I really wouldn't recommend to people unless you're quite experienced in the gym, because I just think there's a high chance of injury. And I think if you really want to do hamstring or glute specific exercises, there's other ways of doing it. So yeah, there you go. When you're in the gym, make sure to actually do what people say in the studies and not just do kind of wild exercises that maybe aren't the best.